Welcome back to Pleasant Grove Sports Network. Sorry about that. Last minute technical issue. Got it sorted out. Still having some troubles running our normal intros. We'll try to figure that out and get it to you likely out of halftime. This is the Pleasant Grove Vikings versus Lone Peak Knights Junior Varsity Showdown. Big rivalry for both sides. Former region rivalry. Now with the Vikings being in 5A, no longer the case. Still a big deal for both sides as we will be underway in a matter of moments. Tip-off won by the Knights. Immediately trying to work it around, maybe open up a three. Have not seen much of the Knights season to this point. As they open up the scoring with a quick bucket off the glass. Lone Peak up 2-0 quickly on the Vikings. Another small technical issue. I forgot to set up the scoreboard at the bottom of our broadcast. Slowly getting these things sorted out. Brief jump ball. Possession arrow was the way of the Vikings. That will switch to the Knights on the inbound. Vikings able to get the ball in, looking to answer back. Three there. Too hard, just barely. Ruby Mosman tips it away. Vikings able to save it. Amaya Kennerly, three, way too hard. Uncharacteristic mistake there from the sophomore. Typically very good in the corner from three. The star player on this JV squad. As brief injury note for the Vikings, number 34, Ruby Mosman, dealing with a lower leg injury on her right leg. Rolled it at the Farmington game. Scores the bucket there. Not bothering her too much. I was told pregame, definitely going to play. Right now, questionable to play in the varsity game after this. As that ball almost a turnover from the Knights, able to recover. Get it into the corner. Drive, tough shot, no foul. Amaya Kennerly with the rebound, 3-on-3, has Ruby. Got too excited, threw it off a Knight, gets it back. Viking three off the left side. Knights come away with it. Work it down low quickly. Lots of high-low. Foul goes. Travel on the Knights. Looked like it was going to be an and one opportunity for a second. Instead, traveling violation called. I believe that was on Trina Iosua of the Knights. I was able to get a roster from the Knights before the game started. Vikings get it down low. That shot off the glass, good. Vikings get the lead back. This should be a close game. The sophomores for the Vikings were able to come away with the win right before this game. As get it down low. Iosua out on the wing. Number 5, Claire Heinton. Sorry. Not used to some of these names. Not used to having a roster for JV games. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Lone Peak gives it right to Amaya Kennerly. 5-on-4. A Knight briefly fell down. Able to recover. Stop the potential Vikings fast break. Kennerly looked like she was trying to get it into Mosman. Takes it herself. Out of bounds. Off of a Lone Peak Knight. I believe that went off of the arm of number 23, Tatum Brewer. as Ruby Mosman will inbound for the Vikings following the Knights tap out of bounds. Gets it almost in, taken away. Lone Peak forcing a turnover, able, not even off of their own turnover, I was about to say. Work it into the wing, number 35, Coco Baird. Vikings doing a good job disrupting the passing lanes for the Knights. Get it down low. Coco, hook shot, foul called. It's going to go against Mosman, her first. 2 shots will be coming for Coco Baird of the Knights. The first Viking foul of the day. As the first free throw, good. Lone Peak looking to tie it up. Little over 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Second free throw, back iron out. Coco gets it back. That shot too hard. Ruby with it. Gets it up. Vikings looking to extend their lead. Very close, very low scoring so far. 7 points. Vikings working it around. In the wing, whistle blows. Traveling violation called against the Vikings. And that will be another Viking turnover. Knights able to just completely confuse the Vikings. Lone Peak trying to get the high-low action going, trying to get it to confuse some of the Vikings. That long two, just a little bit too hard. Amaya Kennerly ends up with it. After a bit of confusion, Mosman back to Kennerly. Tried to go behind the back, got met there. Ruby thought about the three. Gets it out to Siri Burgess, number 44. Siri spins, shots, shoots just a little too hard. Tries to get her own rebound with no luck. Knights get it around number 34, Ellie Anderson. Down to Coco Baird, out number 23, Tatum Brewer. Pass almost went out off of the hand of Izzy Bergerson. That pass fought for. Reagan coming up with it. Taking it the other way, Siri Burgess. Quick note to mention, talked about Ruby Mosman earlier in this game. Reagan Lamborn for the Vikings, number 5, season debut, I believe. Has not recorded a stat all year, as Ruby gets the bucket there. Izzy Bergerson out on the wing. Julia Carver work it, had it in the high post. That three just a little too hard. Siri Burgess with it. Gives it to Amaya, the fantastic point guard for the Vikings. Siri working with it, gets the screen from Reagan, gets it down to her. Reagan loses it, taken away by, I believe that was Coco Baird. Vikings working it around, get it down to Reagan Lamborn. The post play spin, whistle blows. I believe that's going to be a foul charged to the Knights. Minute 33 left. I don't know why that is still running at the bottom. As out goes Reagan Lambert. Wow, Lamborn for a second, excuse me. First foul called on the Knights. And Amaya Kennerly, before I can even get a sentence out, hitting a three, putting the Vikings up by 6. Knights in the corner. Coco Baird Gets it up to Claire Hinton. Knights moving it around quickly. Tried to get it back to Claire, taken away by the Vikings. Excuse me. Fast break. Shot just a little too hard. Gets her own board. Ruby down low to Siri Burgess. Out to Ruby Mosman from the corner. No shot. Travel called on Ruby. 52.7 seconds left in the first quarter. Vikings up by 6. Only 12 points scored to this point. Inbound taken by Maya Cutler to down low. That shot looked like Siri got a hand on it. Can't fall. Vikings, 30 seconds left. Do have to take at least one shot to reset the shot clock, but after that, they will be turned off. A lot of rhyming words there. Say that 4 times fast. Ruby, whistle blows, 26.9. Basically 27 seconds left. As Ruby Mosman will inbound for the Vikings. Based on the formation, I would guess looking for Amaya Kennerly on the elbow. It's close, got it into Siri Burgess. It looked like the first option was Amaya. Vikings drive, tough shot, way too hard. Siri fights to come away with it, ends up out of bounds. 16 seconds left. Knights trying to get a last-second bucket. Claire Hinton down to Trina Iasoa. Gets the bucket. Knights 5, Vikings 9. And that will be the end of the first quarter. Last-second bucket by Trina Iasoa cuts the Vikings lead down to 4. And that is where we will be when we return for the second quarter. Lone Peak getting the inbound. Second quarter of action underway. Get it down low. Tough shot. Can't fall. Ends up in the hand of Tatum Brewer. Knights trying to work it around. Move it. Get a Viking out of position. Get it into the high post. Siri Burgess looked like she got a piece of that. Ball goes out of bounds off of either Siri or Ruby. Doesn't fully matter. Knights come away with it on the baseline to inbound Izzy Bergerson. Trying to get it in down low. Ends up having to take it to the wing. Get it into Trina Iasoa. That shot just a little too hard. Trina almost came away with it. Vikings could not buy a defensive rebound until Ruby Mosman gets it right there. Vikings looking to go on a bit of a run, typically able to run away from their opponent. Siri Burgess shot fouled. Believe going up should be 2 shots for Siri. Trying to get the Vikings over 10. One of the lowest scoring first halves, or first quarters rather, for the Vikings to this point. 9-5 the score. As Siri missing the first shot. Second free throw just off the back iron. Knights come away with it. Izzy Bergerson lets her team get set. Trying to run the offense. Gets it down low to Julia Carver. Back to Izzy. That shot just a little short off of the front iron after hitting the glass. Whistle blows on number 11, Trina Iasoa. Her first foul of the game. Vikings get it into Amaya Kennerly. Vikings playing good basketball for the most part. Haven't hit a couple of the shots that they usually hit. Could not get a defensive rebound a couple of minutes ago. Whistle blows there. Foul called on number 23, Tatum Brewer, for Lone Peak, her second of the game. Already some early foul trouble. Knights, whistle blown on the inbound pass. Foul is going to go against Claire Hinton, as already 4 Knights fouls. In the second quarter compared to the Vikings 0. Vikings get it into Siri Burgess. Down to Ruby Mosman. And that will put the Vikings in the bonus very early in the second quarter. 6:23 left, and Vikings should have free throws the rest of the way. Yes, took him a second to update and put the Vikings in the bonus. Ruby Mosman hitting the first free throw. Gives the Vikings the 10th point, now doubling up the Knights. Mosman take 2. Just off the right side of the rim. A close miss, but a shot you'd like to see fall either way. Knights get it down to Coco Baird. Thought about the 3 for a second. Knights doing a good job moving the ball around. Get an open 3 there. That shot just off the iron and out. Rebound fought for. Out of bounds off of the Knights. Vikings come away with it. Ruby Mosman, the main Viking, fighting for the rebound. Tried to give you another look at it. Not sure what happened with our replay. Amaya Kennerly to Siri Burgess. Tough shot. No good. Foul called. Either way, Siri has 2 shots coming. Vikings being in the bonus very quickly. Foul goes on Coco Baird, her second. Don't know why I popped the T like that. Second foul of the game for Baird. Already 2 Knights in foul trouble. Siri's first free throw too hard. Siri Burgess take 2 from the charity stripe. Up short. As whistle blows, that one should go against Siri Burgess. Knights. Number 21, Julia Carver to inbound, trying to get it into Izzy Bergerson. Should be very easy. Vikings not in the full court press they typically use at this point in close games. Not trying out the zone as much. Reagan Lamburn in down low. That 3 air ball. Amaya Kennerly with it, trying to change the pace. Fast break. 2-on-1. Amaya Kennerly off the glass. Good. Puts the Vikings up to 12. Knights, Julia, correction, that's Izzy Bergerson. Down low to Coco Baird, trying to get it back to Izzy. Lone Peak working it around Izzy. Coco working against Reagan. Not much doing there. That shot way too hard. Whistle blows. That one going to go against the Knights. Foul on Claire Hinton, number 5. Her second. That is already 3 Knights in early foul trouble. Lone Peak 9 fouls away from 3 of their starters. Correction, 2 starters and Coco Baird fouling out. Ruby hitting the first free throw. Vikings up 8 against their former, I'm blanking on the word, the former region rival. Second free throw up and good from Ruby. Lone Peak 4:56 to work with. Get it, Coco at the free throw line. Tried to get it down to where Reagan got a hand on it. Trying to fight for it. Looks like it's going to be a foul called on Reagan. I believe her first of the game. Vikings' second team foul. Knights get it into Coco Baird going against Ruby Mosman. Gives it up to Izzy Bergerson. Gets the bucket. As whistle blows, timeout called by the Knights, down by 7. Definitely not where they thought they would be. Need to start hitting some shots on the other end. They've had a lot be close, but none able to fall to this point. Knights down 7 when we return. Back from the Knights timeout. Vikings get the inbound in. Lone Peak in a full court press. We've seen this confuse some of the younger Vikings on this squad quite a bit. Get it down to Reagan Lamborn. Fake spins shot. Looked like it went off the back of the backboard. As it will be Knights ball. Confusing series of events there for the Knights, or for the Vikings rather. Great series of events for the Knights. Working it around, Julia Carver on the drive, spins. Knights working it around quickly. Izzy Bergerson back to Carver. Bergerson looked like she was going to take a deep 3. Gets it down to Baird, working against Mosman, spins. Whistle blows, looked like a clean poke. Official says otherwise. Knights will take it on the baseline. Vikings starting to get a few fouls called on them. It was briefly 5-1 in fouls. Get it. Knights get it in. Working on the drive. Whistle blows. Travel called on the play, rather. Vikings will take it on the baseline. In comes Siri Burgess and Amaya Kennerly. Vikings dealing with the full court press. Get it to Amaya. Vikings, Siri Burgess looked like she thought about a three. Almost took it on the step back. Amaya down low. Reagan gets it off the glass. Good. Reagan Lamborn hasn't played much, if at all, this year. Already making her presence felt. The Vikings coaches told me pregame they were excited to see what Reagan does on this squad. Knights shot just short. Vikings get it up. That shot off the glass just a bit too hard. Reagan comes in and cleans it up. Reagan Lamborn putting the Vikings up 11. A wider point differential than I expected coming into this game. I thought this would be a close contest. Vikings up by double digits. Coco Baird against Reagan Lamborn. Scoop shot good off the glass as Reagan cuts it down to 9, or Coco cuts it down to 9 for the Knights, rather. Siri Burgess tries to split the full court press herself. That shot just a little too hard. Too excited about the scoring opportunity, I guess. Amaya gets the steal. Working one-on-one against Bergerson. Spins Siri off the glass. Good. Vikings going on an impressive run late into this quarter. Up over 20. That deep two, way off target, goes out of bounds off of the air ball. Jesslyn Applington could not find iron. Vikings will take it on the baseline, rather. Get it in. Knights still in the full court press, trying to confuse the Vikings, force turnovers, force a 10-second violation, anything. Vikings down to Reagan. Reagan, tough shot, falls. Wow, Reagan Lamborn. That shot looked like it had no chance. A desperation heave. Reagan able to get it to fall. Give you one more look at that. Meanwhile, on the other end, foul call that's going to go against Reagan. Going against Trina Iasoa. Should be 2 shots coming for the Knights. Second foul called on Reagan Lamborn. Vikings closing in on giving the Knights the double bonus as Trina puts Lone Peak over 10. Cuts the Viking lead to 12. Take 2 up. Good. Knights able to cut the Viking lead just a little bit. Need to replicate everything they've done to this point, and that will certainly help. Ruby Mosman loses it out of bounds. Unusual turnover from the typically very consistent forward on this Vikings roster. Trina, tough shot, just short. Good job by Siri Burgess to not create much contact. That shot, good. Amaya Kennerly. I don't even know what to say. Amaya Kennerly 3 went everywhere around the rim and then some. Knights trying to respond. Almost get it taken away. Working in the corner. Brewer had it, throws it out of bounds. Vikings will get it on the far sideline. into Amaya Kennerly. 23 seconds remaining. Vikings able to play for the last shot. Get it to Siri in the corner. Siri Burgess playing more like a small forward than a center today. Typically plays down low. Got to think the return of Reagan Lamborn a key factor as the Knights won't even get a shot up. Wouldn't have counted anyway. And that will take us into halftime. Vikings 25, Knights 11 when we return here on PGSN. Welcome back to Pleasant Grove Sports Network. Coming out of halftime, Pleasant Grove versus Lone Peak Junior Varsity Girls Basketball. Second half is underway in a matter of moments. For those just joining us, Vikings ahead big early, up 25-11. Some great play coming from Siri Burgess and Reagan Lamborn. Siri, an established player on this Vikings squad, I believe a sophomore for the Vikings. Great player on JV. Expect great things from her in the future. Lots of great things in the future for the Vikings, as they will start with possession in the second half. Ruby Mosman dealing with a lower leg injury. They get it to her in the corner. Tried to get it back down to Siri. Knights able to get a takeaway. That awkward shot falls. Wow. Crazy and one for the Knights. Show you a look at that just in the nick of time. Wow. Crazy, crazy shot. Coming off of the hand of Trina Iasoa for Lone Peak. The and one up, short off the front iron. Lone Peak comes away with it. Had the three for a second, decides not to take it. Gets it down low, back to Trina Iasoa. Shot no good. Vikings end up with it. Excuse me there. Amaya Kennerly gets it down to Ruby Mosman. Bit of a high pass. Ruby, tough shot, just a little short. Would have been really impressive had it fallen. Whistle blows. I believe a traveling called on the Knights. Get it in to, I believe that is number 20, Izzy Bergerson. Either way, Izzy not with it now. Claire Hinton gets it to Izzy. Over to Trina. Down low, nice shot, too hard. Siri Burgess comes away with it, gives it up to Amaya Kennerly. Common theme for the Vikings, unselfish basketball. They are willing to work the rock around. Deep three, good. Vikings with the three ball there. Get the steal. Siri Burgess working. Was 4-on-2 in the fast break. Siri pulls up three. Just a bit off. Went front iron and then back iron. Knights come away with it, pushing it up the court. Out of bounds off of the Vikings. Knights will take it out of bounds. That was Izzy Bergerson and Tatum Brewer. It's happening so fast, I couldn't look at the roster to find out who was involved in the play. To inbound, Maya Cutler gets it into Julia Carver. Down to Trina Iasoa. Tough shot from Trina, and one. Trina Iasoa gets the tough shot to fall through the contact. Show you that one again. Looks like that one's going to go against Siri Burgess, her second foul. Correction, her third foul of the game. As the and one for Trina. Up, back iron out. Vikings come away with it. Knights doing a great job during fast breaks, shutting down the Vikings offense. Siri connects from three, puts the Vikings up by 16. As that has been a common trend of the night for Lone Peak. Get a stop and a bucket, and the Vikings will answer back. Siri Burgess with the three there. That one almost taken away from by Amaya Kennerly. Whistle blows out of bounds off of the Vikings to inbound Maya Cutler for the Knights. Gets it into Julia Carver down low. Trina Iasoa gets the bucket. Trina Iasoa playing with her head on fire. Coming out of the half. Don't know what the halftime message was, but it's been working to a certain extent. Siri from three. Good! Siri Burgess. Back-to-back threes. Not typically what you see her shooting. Clearly has the green light to just go for it. And the Vikings, very fortunate it is working. When Siri Burgess is making threes, it opens up the court for everybody else to do the same thing, particularly Amaya Kennerly and Ruby Mosman. That foul on the Vikings, I believe Siri Burgess. Correction, that is on number 4 of the Vikings. Knights get it in. Bergerson down low. That shot looked like a Viking got a piece of it. Not sure what happened there. Either way, Vikings get the bucket. Amaya Kennerly. Vikings up 3 touchdowns against the Knights. Gotta wonder if any part of it is fatigue. The majority of the players for Lone Peak that are on the JV squad were playing during the sophomore game earlier. Going in back-to-back basketball games. Very physically challenging. As foul called there on the ground. So far, the Vikings, the ones in foul trouble. 4 already, 3:40. We saw last quarter, Vikings were in the bonus from the 6.5-minute mark on. As now the Knights are the ones with that same luck. As they will be shooting free throws for the last 3:45 of the third quarter. First shot for Trina up and good. I don't believe she's missed a shot all quarter for Lone Peak. Second free throw up and good. Lane violation, no bucket. Lone Peak stepped in the way a little too early. Tried to get an advantage. Finds out the hard way. You can't do that. The free throw falls but will not be counted. Whistle blows. Travel called on Amaya Kennerly. As back-to-back uncharacteristic issues for both sides. Amaya Kennerly typically not prone to that many fouls or just general gameplay issues. That shot short out of bounds. The Vikings will take it on the baseline, get it into Amaya Kennerly. Amaya working against Tatum Brewer, gets it to Reagan Lamborn. Tried to get it back to Amaya on the post entry pass, gets it taken away. Knights working with a little bit of speed. Izzy Bergerson down low to Coco Baird. Ends up in the hands of Tatum Brewer. 3, good! Maya Cutler for the Knights, hitting the shot there, getting them over 20, cutting it down to 15. Amaya Kennerly up against Tatum Brewer. The dribble handoff. Vikings don't take the screen from Reagan. Drive shot just a little bit too hard off the glass. That shot on the ground. Foul called. 2:33 in the third quarter. Vikings will take it on the baseline. you'd love to see for that. Wow, you'd love for that to have been on the shot, rather. Excuse me. Vikings get it into Reagan down low, going against Coco Baird. Coco helpless on defense. Reagan works it down low, gets fouled on the shot. Vikings with 2 free throws coming. Season debut, Reagan Lambourne at the line. First free throw for Reagan, up and good. Given that I was not expecting Reagan Lambourne to play, likely the player of the game for the Vikings to this point. Second free throw in and out for Reagan. Ends up with Maya Cutler. Just hit the 3 a moment ago, working against Amaya Kennerly. Loses it out of bounds. Takes a hard hit off of Reagan Lambourne. Amaya Kennerly getting it over the half-court line. Down to Siri. Reagan going against Coco. Spin shot. Good. Reagan Lambourne down low. Unstoppable. Vikings up big over the former rival. Knight trying to come up with an answer, get the offense going. Get it poked away, taken away from the Vikings. Fast break, 3-on-2. Takes it herself, shot just a little bit too hard, and Coco Baird with it. Knight's the one with the fast break now. Lose it, Amaya Kennerly spins. Left-handed layup off the glass. Amaya Kennerly. Heard what I said earlier, said that is my player of the game award, and took it from Reagan. Showing out on that play. Lone Pete calling another timeout. Vikings up 20, 41-21. Knights on the far sideline. Almost an issue on the inbound. Get it to Maya Cutler. Back out Julia Carver working against Siri Burgess. Siri, good job getting around the screen. Able to recover that pass. Knocked around. Game of pinball for a second. Vikings take it the other way. Knights doing a good job recovering, stopping the Viking momentum. Reagan with it down low, off the glass, and one. Reagan Lambourne gets the hoop and the harm. Vikings will be up to 43. with 41 seconds left in the third quarter. And one for Reagan. Up, in and out. Had a shot for a second. Lone Peak taking it the other way. 30 seconds remaining. Knights tried to get it to Trina Iyosoa. Goes out of bounds. Off of her leg. Vikings get it 25 seconds even. Inbound pass. Vikings not in any kind of a rush on offense. Gets the screen from Reagan Lamborn. Down to Siri in the corner. Down to Reagan, one-on-one against Trina. Tough shot falls. Reagan Lamborn playing incredibly well. Knights won't even get a shot up, and that will take us into the fourth quarter. Vikings up 45-21 against Lone Peak. Knights down big. 8 minutes are all that remain. Trina tried to get it down low on the baseline. Tipped by a Viking rather, and out of bounds. Excuse me there. Not fully sure what happened. Knights get it into Trina Iyosoa. Can't get her shot to fall. It was going to go to Siri Burgess. Trina Iyosoa, I believe, the one to commit the foul for the Knights. Her fourth foul of the game. One more and she is out for the night. No pun intended there. Vikings get it down to Ruby Mosman. Haven't called her name in a while. Haven't really needed to. Siri Burgess and Reagan Lamborn definitely picking up the slack for the Vikings. Tough shot. Can't fall. Able to recover. Vikings second shot. Couldn't go. Trina tried the full court pass. Dangerous for a second. Claire Hinton ends up with it. Gets it out to Izzy Bergerson. Julia Carver. Knights working it around. Trina Iyosoa working one-on-one against Siri. Tough shot falls. Trina Iyosoa playing for the win in this game. Knights desperate to do anything to get back in it. Need to recreate everything they've done to this point to be up by one. Viking three. Back iron out. Knights with it. Bringing it up the court. Izzy Bergerson on the wing to Julia Carver. Now with Claire Hinton back to Bergerson. That shot blocked. Rather a foul called on the Vikings. 6:23 left. Vikings up 45-23. Two shots coming for the Knights. First shot, no good. Shooting for the Knights, I forgot to mention Izzy Bergerson. Second free throw, no good. It's incredibly important. Need to hit your foul shots. Vikings come away with it. Izzy goes 0 for 2 on that trip. Siri. You can hear the coaching staff for Lone Peak wanted to travel. That shot just short. Siri gets it rather. It's the bucket. Vikings 47. Siri Burgess playing great for the Vikings, matching Trina Iasoa in energy and in just competitiveness. See Siri get the board there for the Vikings. Tough fight. Gets it to Amaya Kennerly. Down to Ruby. Tough shot. Can't fall. Fight for the board. Ruby gets it and one. Ruby Mosman. An almost circus-like shot. Crazy luck for Ruby Mosman on that bucket. Chance to put the Vikings at 50. Absolutely run away with this one. Free throw short. Siri fights for it, comes away with it. Amaya Kennerly, 3. Good! Amaya Kennerly adds a little extra on at the end. Vikings have this one well in hand. Up big over the former regional rival. Knights trying to do anything with it. That foul's gonna go against Siri Burgesson. Wow, Siri Burgess, rather, for the Vikings. 4:48 to play. Knights to take it on the baseline. Reagan comes in replacing Siri. 4 fouls on the night for Burgess. As that one will go against Reagan, or rather against Ruby Mosman. The two names sounding very similar in my head before I said them. 2 inbound, Izzy Bergeson. Gets it in down low. Knights shot looked like Reagan Lamborn got a piece of it. Amaya Kennerly taking it the other way, met by Claire Hinton. Vikings get it down. Reagan spins, left-handed layup. Just short. Reagan with it again. I believe going against Coco Baird. Amaya Kennerly out to Ruby Mosman. This trio, as well as Siri Burgess, really the majority of the Vikings offense, as you see there. Reagan Lamborn with the bucket off the glass. Great team effort from the Vikings halfway through the fourth quarter. Down low, tough shot, just barely out. Reagan comes away with the tough rebound. Amaya Kennerly, one-on-one. Gets it down to Reagan, spins, going against Coco Baird. Coco doing great job on the defensive side, forcing Reagan to find another option. That shot just a little bit too hard. Coco with it, 2-on-1 against Amaya. Amaya, good job by herself. Really good job stopping the Lone Peak attack on the fast break. Spinning shot just short. Amaya Kennerly coming away with it. The Vikings up by 31. Amaya Kennerly make that 33. Vikings will walk away with this one. 30 points in 2 minutes is an incredible feat for a team. That pass foul gonna go against Reagan Lambourne. Her 3rd foul of the game, 4th team foul on the Vikings. As out will go Amaya Kennerly and Ruby Mosman, likely done for the night. Both typically play a decent amount of minutes on the varsity squad for the Vikings. As another whistle blows. Not sure what happened there. Either way, the free throws, it will be free throws for the Knights the rest of the way. First one up and good from Trina Iasoa. Second shot falls. That was close to going out for the Knights. Knights up to a quarter century. 25-56. Vikings up 31. Reagan trying to find something to do with it. Gets stuck at the free throw line. Finds an outlet. Vikings working it around. Getting a lot more confused following the departure of Amaya Kennerly and Ruby Mosman. Don't need to play either of them, though. Knights playing for not much more than pride at this point. Vikings. That foul gonna go against Reagan Lambourne. I believe that's her 5th foul. Correction, only her 4th. Either way, do not want for her to foul out. In will come Lolly Clark for the Vikings to replace Reagan Lambourne. Looked to have been exiting a little gingerly on her right leg. Doesn't look too bad. Still returning from an injury. Don't want to re-injure it that game. Knights had it for a second. Vikings get the steal. Vikings looking to run the offense. Minute 40 left. Spin, drive, shot. Almost fell off the glass. Game of pinball for the rebound. As the Knights, I believe, fouling. That one going to go against Maya Cutler, her 1st of the game. The 3rd team foul on Lone Peak. Vikings deep in the rotation, no roster for the players on the court. Screen taken, working it. Thought about the 3, working it around the top of the key. Drive, tough shot, falls. Vikings getting the contested bucket, closing in on 60. As we are now under 1 minute remaining in this game. Lone Peak unable to connect on that shot. Vikings get it. Fast break, 1-on-1. Tough shot, can't fall. Knights working 2-on-2. Leak out pass, no bucket. Foul called. Exactly 39 seconds remain in the game. Vikings will take this and remain perfect on the year. The first free throw just a little bit long for the Knights. Second free throw, same result, back iron. Vikings come away with the board. 30 seconds left. Vikings almost able to dribble it out. 3-second difference between shot and game clock. Vikings deep three falls. And that should be the final bucket of the game. Vikings up 61-26. Get the steal. I might be proven wrong. Layup good. And that will be the game. Vikings take it 63-26. I believe it should be 63-26. Either way, unimportant. Vikings take this one big against Lone Peak, the in-state rival. Not even just in-state, the former division rival. A good win from the Vikings. The majority of the varsity starters for Pleasant Grove, former Knights. As you see a few of the older Vikings congratulating the squad for the big win. As up next for the Vikings, they will be taking on the Payson Lions on, I believe that's Friday, December 19th at 3:30. And for Lone Peak, give me a brief moment to find their schedule. Up next, they will play versus Farmington at 5:15 p.m. on January 6th. No future basketball for the Knights until that contest with the Phoenix. And as for the Vikings, we will be covering the varsity matchup in about a half hour. And until that point, my name is Coleman Keel, and we will see you next time on PGSN.